Welcome back, Rugby viewers. It is the second weekend of the Autumn International Rugby, and it is the Springboks England at Twickenham this weekend after a massive game at Murrayfield against Scotland last week, amongst a bunch of other games where obviously the Southern Hemisphere dominated. Gweri, how are you, and what do you make of last weekend's rugby?
Hello, Gabsy. Hey, Rugby viewers. Gabs, last week's game was not it wasn't the prettiest game, I would say. It wasn't the most fun watching. I think the Springboks left a lot on the field that they actually could have finished off. And I thought the Scots were also unlucky in some points, but watching it from the TV, it was very stop-start, a lot of handling errors from the box. But I'm more interested to know from you. You were at the game. You were on the field. That you were allowed to be on the field, but you
I was invited. I was invited to quickly go and give.
You were invited, yeah.
It
looked like you were invited.
Publish that. Maybe we should just edit that into this video and quickly publish that so people can see what you're talking about.
How was the atmosphere?
Honestly, it was a dream come true to go to Murrayfield. Really, what a game. What an experience to actually watch the game live over there, especially the Springbok team. I think that 25 minutes of the second half, the Scots really had us still. And then, it was kind of a close game. To be honest, I was saying to my dad, I was like, they could score a try any second and be right back in this. And then that last, 15 minutes, we basically just put the game to bed. So I guess the game plan kind of worked, putting on, 7 forwards. It just took a while to kick in. Crucial for Paulie from the tee. But absolute amazing experience. Yes. And along with all of that, I just also want to say congratulations to all the Southern Hemisphere teams. I think nobody really gave Fiji a chance. The same for New Zealand. Massive win.
So, Australia either.
Australia is probably the one that needs the biggest congratulations. So, I do think, having said that, Australia's probably psyched up England. So, let's not waste any time and go directly into this game. Springboks versus England, a grudge match, probably. Lots to play for. What do you think, Gweri?
I think England is a dangerous prospect this weekend. I'll tell you why, right? Borthwick so far, he's lost now a couple of games. Yes, it is narrow margins, but you can just get the feeling in the post-match press conferences afterward. He's always saying, we played extremely well. It was so close. And then on the other side, you see the Springboks who just beat Scotland at Murrayfield. And then with 17 points and then saying, it's not good enough. We're not proud of that performance. So that's just the mentality difference at the moment. However, if England can beat South Africa this coming weekend, they can have a horrible season, which they actually have already had a horrible season, and then still say, yes, but we beat South Africa. So I think South Africa is the kind of team that can really turn around your season when you beat them. So I'd be by no means thinking that this weekend is going to be an easy one for the Springboks, and I think neither is any of the casual fans.
Yeah, I have to say, now that you say that, actually, it's so funny that you said, because this, after the games, the post-match interviews, all the English pundits are complaining about this. And I don't even know if I send you the pictures, but we accidentally walked into the box, packing their minivan. The players themselves packing the bags into the minivan, and obviously took a couple of shots, talked to some players. I think I've sent you that one little video. And actually, they were disappointed. That's so crazy to think about that, So it's just a different box era and a different box setup. They just always strive for more, where if you're going to go and defeat a 3-point loss, even anything like a close loss, then it's not going to really, I think, do it for us. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen this weekend. I mean, if we dig into that team,
Yeah.
to be honest,
A lot of
kind of
changes, 12
expected
changes.
12 changes, but to be honest, it's probably one of the more predictable Rassie teams because it's been so difficult to know, like against Scotland, none of us saw that coming. But this
Yeah.
team, at least the forwards, you could have kind of argued like Wilco Lowe is maybe one of the players, but the
Yeah.
rest of the pack is, for me, what I would have expected to kind of see. Obviously, the back line, maybe Grant, Money, I wasn't
But
sure
let me
about
ask you
those.
this quickly then, Gab. Sorry, but if it is such a predicted Rassie team, why did he not post it on Tuesday? Is it because of the bench now being 5-3 instead of the normal at least 6 forwards on the bench that he usually does? Why did he wait until Thursday to post this team? If it is so
Well, I
predicted.
guess nobody can any longer predict the Rassie team. So there is no such thing. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at the forwards right now, this is probably what you could have expected after what you've seen last weekend. Last weekend we had a lot of these players on the bench, and like I just think the likes of Siya Kolisi, Peter Steph Toy, Eben Etzebeth, Bongi Oaks, these guys are regular starters. Jasper
Yeah.
Wiese could be debatable, but he's played immense since he's back. So for me, that's what I'm referring to. Obviously, Malcolm Marx has been phenomenal off the bench, so I didn't expect to see him start. Of course, some people will be like, is it the right thing to start Money? But if you are going to have a fly off on the bench, you want Paulie on the bench. You don't want Money on the bench just for closing out the game. I don't know if there's anything else in that team. Again, Lucanio, being player 23.
Yeah.
Interesting shout.
Yeah, the 5-3 bench is kind of weird to me, to be honest. It looks like a team that we're going to run them. I think we're going to run them instead of going through them. They're kind of getting mixed results to actually be positive. England now getting mixed results from their high rush defense. Shit, I can't take you serious when you hold your cup like that.
It's been a long day, man. It's been a long day.
They're
You know that I'm actually working.
they're getting mixed results from that rush defense, right? And you saw Australia with and New Zealand with a good kicking game and playing towards the edges. They really managed to get around England. So I think that's the way that Rassie sees it by playing Mani Libbok, by playing Grant Williams. They're rapid, very good distributors of the ball. Same with Fassi. So there's wheels on wheels, man, to
Yeah,
play
no, for
this game.
sure.
So I
And
think it's going to
Fassi's
be
been
more tries.
phenomenal.
He's
Fassi's
been
been
great on the
phenomenal.
high ball.
Um,
So I think we can expect the type of game that I think Rassie wanted to play in the semi-final last year against England, but was stopped doing that because of the rain. So he had to make changes at 30 minutes by bringing Andre Pollard on for Mani Libbok. So this might be also a classic Rassie thing from, Mani. We hooked you off for 30 minutes in the semi-final against England. Now we're playing you again, and we're starting you, and we expect you to do better this time around. So
yeah.
I think it's a great team. It's good to see. I don't yet understand why Lucanio is actually that player 23. Is it really necessary? Could we not have done just with a 6-2 split? But then again,
Yeah.
I think we're at that point where we don't question Rassie anymore, do we?
Yeah. I mean, also, I think the attacking pattern has just improved so much. So maybe we just feel like we're ready for that. I've just looked at the weather conditions, though it will possibly rain and it's going to be super cold, 10 degrees maximum. So it's going to be interesting if it is really going to be a running game. I mean, I would imagine with the selection, we would like to play that. But let's transition into the English team. I mean,
Yeah.
you've made some really interesting remarks pre-podcast, and I think, it would be interesting, to also share those observations with our fans when you look at
Yeah.
that team selection.
Gabsy, I think this team that Borthwick has chosen is the classic team that you play against the Springboks. They brought in Underhill. He's a great tackler and he really likes to fold people in half. So he comes straight in, and him and Cunningham South. He's also a phenomenal player. He scored
Yeah.
2 tries again last week. I think if you take that into account with his 6-2 bench, and then bringing in Freddie Stewart on fullback, who is a very tall man. who's great under the high ball, along with Ollie Slytom on the one wing and Freeman on the other wing.
Freeman, yeah.
These are tall guys, and I think with Jack van Poorvliet as well on 9, who's a very tactical sort of player, especially when it comes to box kicking, they're going to try and leverage the most that they possibly can from the new law, where you have to allow the chaser to come through to their advantage with their tall players, and see if they can catch Cheslin Colby and Kurtley Arons, if they can catch them out under the high ball. So I think it's going to be an aerial sort of a strategy from Borthwick and his men. And it worked very well in that semi-final, especially with the wet weather. And let's just see if they can nullify the scrum. That is such a very, very strong weapon.
I just wanted to actually ask you that question. Like, do you think Genge, George, and Stewart stands a chance this weekend against
I think they will hold well, but I think the issue comes when you get Finn Baxter on there. I think Dan Cole is experienced. He knows the onslaught that's coming. But I mean, you got Vincent Koch and Steenkamp coming on, and just to brush them off. So, but we don't have the full 6-2, right? Usually we have 2 locks on the bench. Now you have Ulrich Lowe, Quagga Smith. So it's slightly different.
I mean, you do have Peter Steph that we've seen shifting sometimes into the lock position.
He might have to, because
I mean, Guri, then to wrap it up, this weekend, just a couple of the standout games. You've got, I guess, Ireland versus Argentina. Argentina has been impressive, but I guess Ireland at the Viva what do you say there?
Yeah, look, so they had
Ireland
19 unbeaten, 19 unbeaten games in the Aviva Stadium, and then New Zealand came to spoil that party. But I'm 100% sure they're going to get it back on track with Argentina.
And then I think we don't really have to go. Scotland should definitely take Portugal and bounce back strong this weekend. I know Portugal is up and coming. England versus the Bokke at Twickenham. Will it be close? Will it be a walkover?
And well, I think it's not going to be a walkover, but I think the Boks can beat them by 10 points.
Fantastic
prediction
there. I'm
also hoping.
I would also hope that the Boks should win this one comfortably. I do think England is really going to come out of everything, and hopefully it's not one of those wake-up games, and we can really just keep our momentum. Then probably one of the other really big games is France versus New Zealand in France, at Stade de France, considering New Zealand has been struggling over there in recent years.
A rematch for New Zealand, but they've kind of turned it around. They've had very tough games so far in this Autumn Nations series, and they really want that French scalp as well. Let's hope for the best. But I think the French are very aware that the All Blacks didn't take it kindly when France beat them in the World Cup last year in the opening game. So that being said, that's kind of it.
Last one, which I want to know about is Wales versus Australia, because those are 2 teams.
Can the Aussies back up another good performance?
Yeah, I mean, can Wales get out of the darkest hole they've ever been in? So that's the big question.
They haven't won yet in a year.
More,
it's tough. 11 games.
Really tough. Well, fans, friends, let us know what you guys think. Please drop your predictions. Tell us what we missed out about. Tell us how much you love or hate us. And drop a comment, share with friends and family. And thank you so much for the support. We're looking forward to an excellent weekend of rugby. Thank you.
Enjoy Twickenham, buddy.
Thank you. Cheers.